When most of us think of Sita Devi, we often picture this gentle, devoted wife. And while it's true, it's only part of the story. We're about to explore the incredible intellect, the rock-solid integrity, and the deep, profound strength that makes her one of the most compelling figures in history. So let's dive in. And this is really the core question we need to ask ourselves. Was Sita just a passive figure, kind of swept along by these huge, epic events? Or was she actually the architect of her own path, shaping her destiny with every single choice she made? As we're about to see, her story is one of amazing agency and an inner power that honestly is often overlooked. And get this is what's so fascinating. The epic itself, the Ramayana, literally introduces itself with this exact phrase. Right from the get-go, it announces that this is the great story of Sita. So this isn't Rama's story with Sita just playing a part. It's her story. She is the central pillar holding the entire narrative together. All right, so to really get who she was, we're going to journey through the key parts of her character. We'll start with her noble family background, then we'll see her integrity when the pressure was on. We'll explore her mind-blowing capacity for forgiveness and her sharp wisdom in a crisis. And finally, we'll wrap it all up and see why her story is still such a powerful ideal for us today. So where did this absolutely remarkable woman come from? Well, to understand her character, we really have to start at the beginning, with her roots. She wasn't just born into any ordinary royal family, she was raised in a lineage of philosopher kings. And that environment, well, it shaped everything she would later become. So, she was the daughter of King Janaka. And he wasn't just a king. He was a famous philosopher, a royal sage, known everywhere for his wisdom. Just look at this lineage. She's descended from a long line of incredibly righteous rulers. Can you imagine being raised in that kind of atmosphere? It wasn't just about money or power. It was about being steeped in a culture of deep wisdom and dharma right from birth. This is the bedrock of her character. But, being born into a great family is one thing. True character really shows itself when you're under pressure. And this is where Sita's story starts to truly shine, when she's faced with these unimaginable challenges. Let's see how she met them, not with despair, but with this unshakable commitment to her principles. So the first test comes out of nowhere, and it's dramatic. Her husband Rama is exiled to the forest for 14 years. Now, for Sita, a princess who has only ever known palace comforts, this is a massive crossroads. Does she stay behind in safety and luxury, or does she follow her husband into a life that she knows will be incredibly hard? Her choice is guided by this really powerful principle, dharmamurti. This term is so important. It doesn't just mean being a good wife. It means you are the living embodiment of righteousness, a partner who truly gets that their sacred duty is to share in their partner's path, for better or for worse. It's all about a deep, shared destiny. And look at how she immediately puts this into action. She doesn't just accept the exile, she actively chooses it. She insists on walking in Rama's footsteps, sharing every single joy and every sorrow as a complete equal. This one act totally redefines what a partnership is. It's about active, courageous participation, not just quiet support from the sidelines. But her trials were just getting started. Picture this. While she's living this hard life in the forest, her own father, the great King Janaka, finds her. And he's heartbroken to see her suffering, so he offers her an out. Come back with me to the palace in Mithila. Live in comfort until this is all over. Her response shows us another one of her core virtues, abhimanavati. This basically means the self-respecting one. It's this incredibly powerful idea that once you're married, the challenges you and your partner face are your own. It's a principle of dignity and independence. You don't run back to your birth family with your new life's problems. And with that simple, powerful statement, she politely but firmly turns down her father's loving offer. In that single moment, she establishes her own independent identity, totally committed to her path no matter how tough it gets. It just shows that her sense of self-respect was every bit as strong as her sense of duty. Now, this integrity was matched by an almost superhuman ability for compassion. And this is where her character gets even deeper, because her mercy wasn't just for her friends. It extended even to the people who wanted to destroy her. Okay, think about this pivotal moment. Ravana, the demon king, shows up at her door, disguised as a helpless holy man begging for food. She's all alone, with only a protective line that Lakshmana drew for her safety, so her sacred duty to give charity is now in a direct clash with her own survival. What on earth does she do? Her choice is defined by her innate nature as a Dayasili, a merciful soul. And it's so important to understand this was not her being naive. It was a conscious, difficult choice. She chose to uphold the higher principle of compassion, of never turning away someone in need, even when it put her at immense personal risk. And that mercy would be tested to its absolute limit. Later, as a captive in Lanka, she's held in the Ashokavana garden, surrounded by guards whose only job, day in and day out, is to torment her, threaten her, and try to break her spirit. And yet, after putting up with all of this, her response is one of Kshama Gunam, the quality of forgiveness. Just think about that for a second. This isn't just about letting it go. It's the profound ability to show grace to your actual tormentors, to look past their cruelty and try to understand the circumstances that were driving them. After she's rescued, Hanuman offers to punish the guards who tormented her. And her response, which you see right here, is just staggering. Can you imagine that level of empathy? To have the grace to forgive the very people who made your life a living hell just because you understood they were powerless pawns in a bigger game? It's truly extraordinary. But let's make one thing absolutely clear. Her compassion was not weakness. Not at all. It was backed by a razor-sharp mind and an unbreakable will. She was never, ever a passive victim. I mean, just imagine the absolute terror. You've been abducted. You're being flown through the sky, a prisoner, completely and totally alone. The normal human reaction is to panic. But Seetha, she didn't panic. She thought. In that moment of pure crisis, she embodies the virtue of Vivekavantaralu, the wise and strategic one. This is the ability to think with total clarity and act decisively when it feels like the world is collapsing around you. It's about finding a way forward when it seems like there is no way out. And here is her strategy in action. It's brilliant. In a flash, while being flown to her prison, she realizes she has to leave a trail. So she starts taking off her golden jewelry, piece by piece, and strategically dropping it to create a path of clues for Rama to follow. This isn't some desperate prayer. It's a calculated, intelligent act of survival. Her spirit was just as powerful as her mind. In Lanka, Ravana threw everything he had at her: threats, intimidation, promises of untold power. But he was up against a force he just couldn't understand. See, his power was external, armies and wealth. Hers was all internal, an unshakable moral core. This all leads to her single, most powerful act of defiance. During one of Ravana's angry rants, she doesn't argue or beg. She just picks up a single blade of grass, places it between them, and says this. With one simple symbolic act, she communicates that his immense power, his ego, his entire kingdom, all of it means absolutely nothing to her. So why is this ancient story still so important? Why does her character still resonate so powerfully thousands of years later? Well, it's because the virtues she represents are timeless. They really provide a blueprint for navigating the challenges of any era, including our own. So what are the real lessons we can take from her life? We saw her principled independence, her Abhimanavadi. We saw her incredible compassion for her enemies, her Kshamagunam. And we saw her clear strategic wisdom in a crisis, her Vivekavandralu. These aren't just old ideals. They are powerful tools for living a life of strength and integrity right now, today. And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. As you look at the world today, with all of its complications and all of its challenges, which of Seetha's incredible virtues, her integrity, her forgiveness, her wisdom, or her self-respect, do you think we need the most right now?